go out to LA. The new anthem. California Love Part 2. To live in Don, LA. West side, west side, west side. To live in Don, LA, where everybody try to fatten their pocket. So many hustle for the cash, so it's hard to knock it. Everybody got their own thing, currency chasing. Worldwide through the hard times, worrying faces. Shed tears as we bury brothers close to heart. What was a friend, now a ghost in the dark.
Well, hello. God bless you, community family, and welcome to Gang Talk with Sister Heron. And we're waiting on Marcus, okay? We just want to start out that way, and I'm just so tickled to have the young girls here with us tonight because it's very special and very important that we communicate with them, that we know what they're concerned about, what they're missing, which is really, really important, and what they need from us. So we're very fortunate to have them here tonight, and we thank Marcus for making that possible. Because, you know, Marcus has been a regular on many shows, and he has moved up into the San Bernardino community, and so his travel is very difficult, especially in this time of day. So we are waiting for Marcus, and as we wait for him, I want to try to remember who was here last week, because that's how we also start. We thank our guests from last week. But while I'm trying to figure that out, I want you young ladies to introduce yourself. One is a reintroduction, and one is the introduction for the face that was on the phone. So, first timer and a returning guest.
Okay, so I'm Leah Amaya.
Speaking to Mike.
I'm in Unity. I'm a domestic violence advocate and teen violence advocate.
My name is Faith Acevedo. I am a domestic violence advocate and anti-bullying speaker.
Mm-hmm. So that's the one thing you two have in common is the anti-bullying. And to be quite fair and frank, domestic violence is the worst kind of bullying. It's the worst kind of bullying, you know, when folks cannot manage themselves and they take that mismanagement out on others. So it's the same as bullying, only it's worse. And this little baby right here, if you can see her, this is my little precious caregiver, Pepper. And she is mourning because her brother, bless his heart, her twin brother was attacked a few weeks ago, and he didn't survive his injuries. And so, you know, as I've said, in my work, I have experienced a lot of grief. A whole lot of grief, more grief than I want to imagine, but this is the first time that I've seen an animal mourn like she is. And so, because they were born on the same litter, and they've been together every day for the 3 years of their life, I thought it was important to include her in what we're trying to do, because she's missing her brother. And that's what I want to say about the dog. So here's our co-host.
You're
Come
late,
on in.
Mr. Marcus.
Yes, we were just starting the introductions, actually just completing them. And we're happy you made it. I was just saying how you have gone up into the San Bernardino community and how difficult that is for you to get down here. So we're very grateful that you're here, Marcus, and really thank you for bringing the young ladies.
Thank you. It's not on. How y'all doing?
Your mic's on.
My name is Marcus Woods, and I am late.
But
I'm
on
just
time.
late, but on time.
On time, because this is a very important conversation. And it was so cute because she did the wave. When we came on, she waved her friends, and I like that. I like that.
So, she brought you here. She invited you here so that you can tell other people about bullying and domestic violence.
And I actually, too, want to ask him. Leah told me she's reached 13 now. Okay, because she wasn't 13 when we first met. And how old are you, Faith?
I am 11. I'm going to turn 12.
Okay. How soon is your 12th birthday?
August 28th.
August. It's this month. Oh, you got a birthday coming up. Well, happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
And thank you for spending your last 11th year with us. I really appreciate that. That's very exciting. Because people like me are trying to find a way to fill in some gaps, you know. And I kind of want you to lead us in what you think that we're not doing, things we need to do better, any lack you see that we might need to come in and provide some assistance for. So those are the kinds of things I want you to think about as we're talking about tonight, because it's really important that the grown folks hear from you, really. We talk about you enough. We do, don't we?
Sure do.
Yeah, talk about them plenty, but how many talk to them? So this is the opportunity that we're happy to have with you. So Leah, since you're experienced, okay, and I so enjoyed the time that you were here and Petra both called in, and then the time that she was here and the both of you talked. So would you like to start with that?
Yeah. So the last time I was here, I don't really remember much because it was a while back. But to answer
You're too
your
young
question,
to forget. Okay, look. And you guys cover some pretty heavy stuff, really very heavy stuff. So I was just mesmerized myself and listening and learning too.
what I have to say is, to answer your question or what you had your statement that you had said about what the grown-ups or elders need to do more with the youth is maybe like listen and reach out to them. Because recently, like where I used to live in Rancho, like 4 kids committed suicide.
You're talking about that today?
It was recently.
The suicides that they're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Yes,
They're-
that's
People like to talk about it, but they didn't do anything about it.
right.
Just like with Rosalie, like they like to talk about it, but they didn't do anything for her. The schools.
Rosalie.
Rosalie Avila was the little girl who hung herself over a bullying incident last year.
Okay, because there have been a few of them. And,
Yeah.
and I haven't been able to keep up with their names.
Right.
And, the whole point is that it's suicide.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the devastation is. And you're so, I don't want to say experienced, but familiar with bullying and how kids respond to that. So I think I'm kind of asking you for some insight to why you think that these young kids would take their own life.
I believe that they do it because they feel there's nothing else they can do if they try to get help, and there's nothing being done. They think like, oh, that's the only way. Then there won't be any problems.
You have anything you want to add, Ness? I know you have a perspective.
Like, they do that because, like, there's, like, no more tears, like, left to cry, and, like, they're getting numb to the feeling of how much they're getting bullied to. So they're like, well, like Leah said, there's nothing else to do, and so...
Well, let me ask it this way. Do you think that it was bullying that contributed to it, or some problems with their age, or like one of the children that I paid particular attention to had been to several different schools, and it seemed that may have played a part in that the adjustment. I'm just in this school now, I'm in another school now, I'm in another school.
It breaks you down. Like
Yeah.
if you have to, if I lived in Watts and have to move to Compton, and then next week I have to move to Inglewood, I mean, I don't have the opportunity to get to know, friends or kids around me. So if I move to a different area, I might move to an area where there's kids who, think they tougher than me, or because they're in a group, they feel like they can, rough me up a little bit. Or
Actually,
whatever.
Marcus, that has happened.
Yeah.
You're very, that's very true, because a lot of parents have thought that if I can get my child out of that element where their friends are and take them over here, then I can pull them out of that lifestyle.
Yeah.
But not realizing you moved them into another gang.
You moved them into an
Gang
area where it's
Mhm.
worse.
That may be in conflict with where he came from.
Mhm.
See, so that's the part parents didn't get a chance to absorb.
Right.
And so there have been tragedies because of that. And all parents are trying to do was the right thing and save their child, but not know, oh, I left this bad neighborhood and moved to another one.
But
like
if you
said.
if you try to isolate your kids into safety, them not being aware is the biggest problem.
It
So
is.
if they don't understand what's going on in that culture, then they can become a victim to it fast.
They will become a victim because they don't know. They don't know, and this is why it's extremely important that we have an understanding with their generation, because they kind of have to help each other. You know, as much as I'd like to come in and fix that, I can't do that.
But they are helping each other. A lot of the times, you know, a lot of adults, like she was saying, a lot of adults should listen more.
Yeah.
Because they are actually sticking together.
And speaking of that, I want to hear from them.
Mhm.
See, if
They trying
we
to
had
make
a
them talk.
forum for you, would you come and engage that dialogue with the crowd? Would you encourage your peers to get involved and say something?
Yeah.
You can't just nod your head, girl. You have to move those lips, and the sound has to come out.
Yeah, I would actually like encourage them to like go instead of like keeping it inside of them. They need to like to let it out. Like I used to be one of them, and it's not good enough to hold it in. You have to let it out, because it's like lifting a weight off your shoulders, and like me helping kids like take that weight off their shoulders is like
Do you think it's because your understanding is better with them than mine or Marcus would be? They have more of they can relate to you better. They feel more comfortable with you.
Yeah, because like they're children too.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think.
It's okay.
And
They
Like,
understand more.
yeah.
They understand what you've been through or what
You
you're going
guys
through.
see eye to eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're kind of aligned with the same attitude about things, and that's really what we're trying to get at. We really need to hear how you feel about this. So you really are going to guide us. Really, we think we know all the answers. Like I said, we sit around and talk about you, but who's
Yeah.
talking to you? When you really hold the answers, you hold the answers to all of this, and so that's kind of why I'm pressing you.
I would want to encourage people or like my peers to like do more stuff or be active so they're not inside, or like the bullies and all that. Like they need to understand what the people they're doing it to or bullying are going through, because they don't know what it feels like. Or they're just trying to fit in and think, oh, if I bully this kid, I'll be tougher and people want to be my friend. But at the end of the day, kids go home and like harm themselves or like don't want to live anymore and kill themselves.
Those are the bully and the suicide are two different scenarios. You don't have a lot of bullies that go home and commit suicide.
No,
but
not-
you
Well,
do.
it's starting.
Not bullying,
It's starting
but-
as of late. It's been
You have the bullied
Right,
that go
the
home.
bullied.
The bullied that go home and
Yeah.
hurt themselves, but not the one that's inflicting the pain. There and you know we had Candy Lewis is our bullying expert, and that is exactly what her program emphasizes: teen dating and bullying and that kind of thing, those kinds of pressures. And Candy, through her work, has determined that bullying is a byproduct of the home.
Yeah, it
It
starts
comes
from
from the home. Yeah. Yeah. And so you've had a lot of experience in talking to them. You have such wisdom. At 13, you just tickle me. What did you say the first time you were on here? You asked the bully, was everything okay at home? You remember that?
Not really.
Well,
I have bad memory.
You're too young for that, but we'll discuss that another time. Okay. If I can remember it.
That was Faith, though.
Was that Faith?
Yeah, that was Faith.
Oh, okay. Was that you? You
Yeah.
said that on the phone?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Because I know I remember that. You just asked him, was everything okay at home? And I thought that was a perfect.
Yeah, because I wanted like to get like maybe she was going through something, and I was like, is there any way like I know like I can't help because I'm still a child, but I could still like talk to her and tell her like there's no reason. I mean, like you go home as a victim, but you're coming here as the
Perpetrator,
Yeah.
yeah. The one coming to hurt. And you know what Skip always said, hurt people hurt people.
They do.
Okay, and they're hurt at home, they're going to find a way to hurt somebody
They're
else.
going to bring
So
it to school
they're
first.
going to bring it to school
Take their anger out on other kids or other people.
where they think they can. That's
Yeah.
really what it is. Wherever they think they can, that's how they're going to respond. So it's a twofold. Well, it's a threefold. See, because if it starts at home and then that bully comes to school with the wrong conduct, then the one that's being bullied, that's the third scene that really has to be dealt with. So
What are things at home that can be considered trauma that they go through and bring it to school?
Maybe getting, like, seeing their parents fight. Or, like, parents fighting the kids.
Right.
So, like, getting beat on and stuff like that.
Right.
Yelling, anything.
like maybe their parents are going through struggles, like losing like loved ones,
yeah.
and like really bad like trauma, and that like they take it to school to let it out, but like violence is not the answer like they always say, and it's not cool.
Let me ask this way. I put a lot of power, a lot of power in your opinions and how you feel about these things. They always say, well, there's a school counselor. Okay. You talk to the school counselor, or do you talk to your peers? I'm serious about this. When you want to talk about things like this, who do you bring that conversation to?
I would want to talk to my peers because the school counselors are meant for academics and not like
Emotional
psychological
assistance. Yeah.
They're not trained for it.
Yeah,
Well, they used to have counselors.
yeah. They used to have
that
counselors,
were
but they
there
don't do
for
it
that. If there were fights or bullying, that kind of thing, they used to have a counselor, nurse kind of thing on campus. So that's a sad reality to know that our counselors are only there for academics,
Yeah.
and there's nobody there to guide you through trouble.
The majority of the situations where the bullied end up, hurting themselves is because they've taken the time to try to talk to their counselors, and the counselors don't communicate. You have
They didn't get anywhere.
right.
They didn't get the resolution they were searching for.
Exactly.
And this is what's so critical. Critically, I believe that the young people should play a greater role in that. And what I'm suggesting, that there be a body of
Well,
your peers.
these two are on a
I'm
bully
talking about
committee.
on campus.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
on the bully committee, and,
Okay.
and they actually get a chance to go to the district and kind of dialogue with the adults that's going to have something to do with.
No,
with-
I'm looking for a direct access
to
with
youth.
the peer that's in trouble. Yeah, with
Right.
one of their own age group that's having problems,
Right.
that they have
But-
a set up kind of access to young folks like them where they can come and discuss this.
They're starting bully prevention groups to where is youth mentoring men.
Yeah.
Youth mentoring youth.
Yes.
And they will be speaking to other kids who may be dealing with bullying and different issues that go on at school, that they can talk, in a closed setting with each other.
Yeah.
With, under adult supervision, of course. But
That's exactly what I'm looking for, because I really think there's more weight and value in your dialogue with that person that's having trouble than me.
Yeah.
They'll hear you where they'll treat me like, well, Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I accept that. I'm not mad about it. But what I want to do is, what I'd like to hear is what Marcus is talking about, that you guys are actually accessible, providing this assistance for your peer group. I think that's a great addition.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me very proud of you, too. I'm already proud of you. I really am, because you're survivors, and it's very important.
See, what I was saying about the counselors not paying attention. So I had to go to faith school, actually, where she was having a situation with bullying, and it was told to more than one counselor, the principal even, and nobody communicated it. Mm-hmm. So here it is, you got the same bullying the same kids, and this particular child had more than one contract. You know, they have to write bully contracts. So this kid had more than one bully contract, and nobody did anything, you know, because of the communication of the adults. So that's why I was saying about the bully committee that they go to with the schools. Turns out that, you know, they found out of 82 situations where it was a bullying incident, only 2 were reported to the district of schools. Yeah. So that's the biggest problem.
They're the what is it? They're the screeners. Let me say it this way. They become the screener for the victim. Right. It's like, this is really bad. They have the power and the knowledge and the experience to go tell the leadership, this is really bad. Instead of letting them just say...
They're the ones doing the intake, basically.
Well, you know what?
They are actually able to allow that kid to be themselves and tell them something so they can go back and help them.
They should have this program at those campuses where those kids kill themselves, Marcus. It's not enough for them just to be where they are. It needs to be available to all the campuses with young kids that are at risk for this.
I agree.
This is really what I'm saying. Empower our children to help themselves.
They got to use their voice.
Yes, they deserve to use their voice, especially if they're being challenged in an ungodly way. A physical risk, a mental risk, an emotional risk. They need to have a peer group that says, hey, look, we understand. What do you want us to do about this? And then together they can make the decision and get this thing handled where adults are too busy. Oh, it's not as serious as you making it out to be. You see, they already know. So it's time to respect what they're telling us. This is really what I'm saying. You had something you wanted to say? Leah.
The teachers or staff, like, they could honestly care less.
You know, in fairness to the teachers, they're so overworked and they're so underpaid. And they're really there to teach.
Yeah, that's what one of my teachers said, like, we could just come in here, y'all, give you homework, and we still get paid. Like, you guys doing all this bad behavior is not going to affect us. So, if you out of pocket, it's not going to affect us. How we teach.
Okay, that's the new school. In my school, when you was disrupted, you went to the vice principal's office and you got dealt with, and then they called your parents. All that has changed for your mom when they gave you the rights and took her rights away. Okay? See, so we kind of caught between you and them. And there has been trouble. And some of these teachers, frankly, are burned out. And if they're burned out like that, whether they don't care if come in and give you homework, get another job. Find another vocation. You shouldn't be in a classroom teaching anybody.
You're supposed to love the job you do.
Well, you don't have to love it. You just have to do it. And if you can't do it, it's time to change your vocation. See, because, look, my mom loved to teach. She loved to teach. And she loved those kids more than she loved her own. That's dedication. She didn't care about the salary. She cared about filling those heads with information that was going to take them for a lifetime. That's the kind of educator I want you to have. I don't want somebody coming to class just collecting a check and giving you homework. That is not a teacher. That is not the definition of a teacher. So, you know, these things we have to hear from you. You have to tell us that.
She just taught you something. So you got to take that back where you came from and, you know, help everybody else understand that that's what should be happening.
I believe this is what they're doing. And you know, these are foundational things that really can grow from the beginning you're establishing right here. And for this bullying thing, I think it really does need to grow. And I believe that your peer group is the one that needs to push it. Really. Stand up for your classmates. You know, it's like, hey, he's being bullied and you grown-ups ain't doing nothing about it. And he's going home thinking about ending his life. You adults ain't even paying attention. You see, you have that kind of power. You have that kind of power. And people like me want to see you use it.
I feel kids don't respect each other, or they never gotten like taught how to respect. Maybe just like discipline instead of learning how to give respect and to others. Because kids don't know how to respect.
What is respect?
Respect is like listening while someone's speaking, having manners.
What is respect, Faith?
Like maybe the person went through something, and you have to like to respect that. Like, oh, it's not just been like, oh, I've been through that. Oh, it's so easy. Oh, this. You need to respect that. Like.
So basically, it's not your place to judge how they should feel.
Yeah.
At the same time, do you think that would be something you could include in your forums, your conversations with one another?
Yeah.
You know, that to just throw it out there. How do you guys feel about respect? Is it something you care about, don't care about, practice, don't practice? You see, these are things you can talk about amongst yourselves and work a lot of this out for me. Really. You know, if you guys can fix it, then I won't have a headache. So,
But a lot of people don't know that, you know, it's part of the education code that, you know, they're supposed to, all staff are supposed to be trauma informed. It's actually the law.
trauma informed, you
Yeah,
said?
trauma informed, where there has to be sexual assault, human trafficking, all these different things. There is a law that, you know, I'll look it up before I go here, that states that, you know, they're supposed to have those things within the school district or within the school.
But not the teacher.
No,
Okay.
the schools are supposed to
Yeah.
provide the services of
Right.
being
Right.
able to have those things available within the school, every
Right.
school.
Right.
You know,
They're
so what you
supposed
were
to.
saying earlier, it's already in effect. It's been in effect. You know, it's just not something that's pushed or even people are aware of.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, I could look it up, but that is the law. You know, and a lot of people aren't aware.
Well, as we found out this week, everybody ain't following.
Oh,
the
yeah,
law.
huh?
And
Yeah.
that was something else I wanted to ask you about too. Have you been paying attention to politics? You know, because in 5 years you're going to be voting. Not you, but you will be, and you'll be right behind
I
her.
think I had like 4 years.
For
Yeah.
well, you're
'cause,
13, so 18.
I think I had like 6 more months to birthday. So
But the point is, you're going to be voting
Yeah.
soon. You're going to be voting soon.
I wouldn't want to vote though.
You wouldn't?
Why not?
I feel like it would cause like drama, and people might not see eye to eye about who you vote for.
But you had a right. You know, you
have
had
a
a right
right.
to vote for who
Yeah.
you want to vote.
And you have a right.
You don't got to
to
vote for who everybody else vote for.
That's right. That's why the vote's supposed to be private. You don't have to discuss your vote with anybody unless you want to. And even if you do and they don't like it, they don't have a right to tell you what to think. You're entitled to the freedom of your opinion, and that's what's important. How do you feel about this?
Like, wait, what she was saying, right?
Politics. You want to vote?
About voting?
Oh, like women voting?
No, just
No,
you.
would you?
Do you pay? Are you paying attention to politics? Are you paying attention to what's going on?
Have
right
you seen
now?
anything about Donald Trump lately on TV?
Well, I don't.
That's
You know,
basically
we
what-
don't
we didn't
drop
want to say his.
names
I
around here.
actually
President,
called him
right?
by his name today.
Yeah, you
I don't
did, you
usually
did.
say his name, but so.
The
But you-
45th president.
Giving somebody the opportunity to vote?
Yes.
So-
Your opportunity.
Yeah, I think it would be good because you're having your own opinion and like respect. You're supposed to respect that opinion and not just like argue about it. It's your opinion. You can have your own opinion and the other one's opinion, and like leave it at that. There's no like who's better or like I'm better than that. You need to like respect it. So yeah, I think everybody should like vote because there's like no right. Like everybody's human.
You're planning on becoming a voter when you come of age? Yes,
Yeah.
I see
Maybe
the
as we
kind
get
of
older
ground here.
and we learn about the government and all that stuff, we'll have a better understanding on why it's a good thing to vote. But now we could care less about
I know
people.
you're just having fun, and I know that's a heavy question, but for you, it's coming around a few years, just like dating, just like graduation.
Well, we ain't got to talk about dating yet. We can go back to politics. You can't date
Marcus
till she
doesn't let us
50.
stay until we're 50.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus doesn't let us stay until we're 50.
5-0.
Yeah,
They got to get
Yeah, I
way
want to
else
see
in.
that work.
that's funny, Marcus.
Well,
Yeah,
hey,
that's 25 years.
they got to go through an interview process. So, hey, I'm sorry.
21's the
Well, I
age,
won't.
Like,
or above 21.
like you could put mascara on or something.
Whoa.
Marcus is like, whoa, you need to take that off. Not until you're 50. I don't want to see you wearing makeup.
That's
No,
what-
nothing.
I mean,
But that's
you
a
don't need
father. That's a dad. He's looking out for you. And the funny thing about dads like that is because they remember what they used to do.
That ain't
remember what they
no.
used to look
Seriously,
at.
that's not
They
what
were-
I'm saying. Look,
I know.
So look, when I was growing up in my house, my grandmother didn't let nobody wear no makeup.
I
You
know.
couldn't come in that doorway. If you
But
stepped
when
in
you
that
was
door,
outside,
she knew
who
it.
was you chasing? The ones with the clean face or the ones with the makeup?
The clean face.
Were
Yep.
you?
Yeah, really.
Okay. All right.
I like the natural beauty.
You was chasing
Yep.
good girls.
It's
Yeah.
not about
Yeah,
the
kinda.
inside of
I like-
the beauty.
I like
You see the
intelligence.
personality.
Yeah.
Personality.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like
It is.
They're humor.
It's on the inside, not the
Yeah.
out.
That's right. That's right. That's
Like
right.
you may not know if like they always say, like, oh, looks cute, but you may not know if he's a player, if he does drugs and stuff, and you're like, or even if he's an abuser.
There it is. That part too.
You gotta know.
Part
You gotta
two.
know the person you with before you
Yeah.
allow yourself to love. The word love is used so idly these days.
Damn.
You have to
Doesn't
actually
matter.
know a person.
You do.
If
And
you-
and I'm going to ask you this politically incorrect question, but
Oh.
I think it's appropriate for
What
what we're talking about. How do you young ladies feel about twerking?
What
Oh
the?
heck no! Oh no!
Why your face like that?
No! This is a holy Jesus town. No,
That's so good.
I don't. I feel it make people look too grown. To be
Yes.
honest.
Too grown?
Too grown.
Grown. That's the word you're going to use.
Yep.
Okay. And I'll
Maybe
accept
maybe
that.
some grown people should do it. Not all people.
Should or do it.
Maybe if
I
they're
mean-
like professional dancers and they know
Yeah.
what they're doing, but if they don't know what they're doing, they shouldn't do what they do.
Right.
like
That's fair.
yeah, because like wait, I forgot my
Come on, Faith. You,
You were
when
saying
I
about
asked that question, you had, no.
no, this is no.
Yeah.
Not no.
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 Just no.
No.
Just
Negative.
no. And I understand that, see, because it's that kind of pressure on young girls and these Facebook challenges
Oh, yeah.
that are
Oh,
getting
So gross.
your
I hate
generation.
seeing that on my timeline.
Oh
It's
my
so-
God!
Yeah.
Doing stupid things, you know, this
Like-
latest thing, dancing outside your car.
Oh,
and,
I've
the-
seen a video where someone
Kiki
was
is the
doing
Kiki.
it.
Do you love me?
And then someone has stole their car.
The worst
missed
one
that
was a
one.
lady that got hit.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Lots
That
of people
was the
have been
one.
getting hit.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
falling out their car.
Yeah, Highway
that's
Patrol
the worst one.
said, Kiki, stay in your car.
Yeah, 'cause I'm glad you talking about this because I'm so tired of these two sending me like the little clips of somebody
I don't
doing it.
send you
But
anything.
see, this is good
That's
because.
I don't even
Or
know.
you show it to me in my face.
But we need to talk
Oh,
to them
look,
about
look.
this. See,
I mean,
because
you know.
the other one that I wanted to bring up too is this fire thing. Set yourself on fire. I mean, what? Come on, girls. What are
What's
you
that
gonna
about?
say to that woman
think-
that thinks that's a cute thing to do?
I think that's dumb. You burning yourself. For
Yeah.
what reason? To post
Wait.
it online? You
They-
look like an idiot or a fool.
They put like something oily on their cell phone and then they light it, right?
lighter
They-
fluid,
They just
Wow.
yeah,
lighter fluid or alcohol.
That's
that's
no.
dumb. That's
They're
yeah.
Hand
pouring
sanitizer.
inflammables on them and then setting
What's the
fire.
point of it?
So what?
And what's so
is-
sad, most of the time they do it in the shower or the
Or-
bathtub because they know they're going to need some water in a minute.
It's peer pressure too. They see other people doing this, like, oh,
I
I do
gotta-
it.
I gotta
I'll
get
be
this
cool.
question off though. So what is it? What is it that they're doing it for? Are they doing it for?
Yeah.
They're doing it to be
To look
to
cool.
Attention.
look cool.
Yeah, they're trying to make
they're
a
trying to look
challenge.
cool or like go viral.
Yeah.
So they doing it for the gram.
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
to
they're
speak.
doing it. Technically, they're doing it for the room
So
or anything. Facebook, Snap.
so I want you to tell. I want both of you to tell all the youngsters in your generation why that is not smart.
It's not
It's
smart.
not smart because you're gonna end up with burns and it's not
It's
gonna
not
be
smart.
worth it.
So I got a sister, right? And my sister, she burnt her hand from hot water when she was 12, right? They took her skin from her arm, I mean from her leg, and put it on her arm. So the patches here,
Skin graft.
yeah, they skin
That's what it's
grafted.
called.
So her skin
Skin
is still burnt, but they covered the. It was all white at one time. You know, so just I said that to say, even just playing with water could get you burned, but fire.
That's
you
that's
can
a
actually
whole-
kill yourself because if
Yeah,
you
you can.
inhale any of that, your
Inhale it.
lungs could blow up.
Burn your lungs
you
out.
burn your
Like-
lungs out.
For your
And that's
lungs to
what's
smoke.
like. That's what's going on. Like now too. Like people are stopping like smoke too. Like really bad. Like
They
Oh,
trying to
inhaling
start
it?
train.
they
I
like
mean,
the new
trends, my
stuff.
bad.
Like new stuff. Like they jewels. People are doing that just that cool too.
You said what?
Jewels. It's like smoking things. Like you could. It's like a smoking.
It's
And
like
people
You
are,
talking
like,
about
doing
vaping?
Yeah, like vaping.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a new
See,
thing.
And they're
then they got
You
Peop-
kids to vape.
people think it's safer than cigarettes, but it
not.
causes more like cancerous
hmm
diseases and stuff.
popcorn
More
chest.
carcinogens.
They one time somebody got popcorn chest. I don't think that's what it's called.
And then those darn things explode in your pocket
Yeah.
too and start a fire and burn your leg.
that's like having a taser in your pocket.
It
Yeah.
is.
You know?
It is. It's crazy. I'm looking at all these challenges that are ahead of you, and I think I'm feeling confident that you're not only aware of what's happening, but you got a good common sense about what to do about this. And that's really what we need to hear from your generation. And people like me know you have the answer. We know you already have the answer, but we are looking for you to come together and discuss these things among yourself.
I think it's peer pressure.
Yeah.
To be honest,
I agree.
they think, oh, if I go light a cigarette or do something that's not supposed to be doing, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, I'm cool now.
Mm-hmm.
I got more friends, followers.
Hmm. Yeah, because I notice a lot of kids keep talking about their Snapchat number. What does that mean?
I could care less, to be honest.
What is that though?
I
That,
think it's
is
like
that how many days
like-
you was on?
How much I
It's
don't
like a
care,
pop-
I don't even know what it means.
it's like a
My bad.
popularity thing.
Right?
They're like, oh, if I got bigger numbers,
You know what I'm talking
then
about though?
I'm cooler. Yeah,
Like,
like the
'cause-
snap pictures and all that.
Oh, is that what it is? How many snap pictures you put?
I believe.
I don't
I think
even know what
it's-
it is.
I think it's like,
What's
because if you
the-
go on Snapchat and you swipe and you see your friends, you click on it, and there's like a number of how many times you sent things to people, and you received them.
Okay. How old are you?
13.
What's the legal age for a 13-year-old? I mean, a kid to use the internet?
Oh, I
Believe
think that's
it.
18, huh?
18.
No.
15.
No, 15.
Yeah,
How old are you?
I'm 13.
What's the legal age
15.
for a kid to be on Facebook or anything social media?
13 or older?
13 or older.
Knew it.
13 and over.
Yes.
I give a high five.
So-
Me, I use like Snap for like family members, like because some people don't have iPhones to FaceTime, like me. So like I FaceTime on there, or
Right.
like
But
Text
regardless
each
of that, you have to be aware that
Yeah,
you
that-
being on social media gets your parents in trouble because you aren't supposed to be there at that age.
Yeah.
I've
there's,
seen
like-
younger kids.
there's
I mean, you might see them, but
But-
it's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, like 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds. Like,
Right.
I mean, like,
I
got
don't
more-
see why an 8-year-old would have any interest in Facebook at all, because
It's
it may have
Instagram,
started
too.
out at Instagram or something
Any
different.
social media.
But Facebook, it's grown folks now. The kids are on
Yeah.
Snapchat. They
We
are
on-
not on
We
Facebook.
on Instagram, like they
I'm
got
about to leave
Instagram,
Facebook
Tumblr.
myself. I'm so bored with it. I mean, really, it's just
that's like
nothing
my
there.
mom's obsessed with that. I'm like, what's so fun about it?
I
I mean,
used
you
to
can
see
see
what
your
people
like
do.
members and like family members and
Just
stuff.
watching people.
Yeah.
Like you could watch people, but you could do it yourself instead.
You can actually, you can actually start your own Facebook. They have something called G Suite where you can make your own website, man, and you can have your own.
Do
what-
skits.
You
I
know,
love
you can
acting.
put skits,
so.
you can put videos, you can.
That's the thing that I like about it is the videos that I'm seeing. I mean, this is your tool. This is your forum. These videos, this social media, that's where social media is at its best. The exposure, the creativity that I'm seeing from it, the opinions from young people, and I'm really enjoying that part of it. But I think it's the complaining
Yeah.
on Facebook that I'm worn out with. I'm just, folks is fussing too much and ain't doing enough.
Ain't doing
They
nothing,
not
really.
doing enough. So if all you're gonna do is spend your Facebook hours complaining about stuff,
That's
What's the purpose?
like,
I
What's
feel
the
people
point?
should
it's like people are
like
stuck.
if they're gonna complain about it, they should get off of it.
But I mean, most people use Facebook as a environment tool. Like most folks, that's their contacts. That's where they hold their pictures. That's where everything is at. So when,
they're also saying we're getting more of our news off of Facebook now too.
because only reason it's like that is because it was talked about. They
Yeah,
they
it was
actually
caught,
get more. You see more news and ads because of the fact that they were saying it was fake news there. So
Oh.
now to being Facebook is a business, they have to fix that. So they have to put something that even resembles real news. So
I'm not worried about that. I mean, I'm a member of some. Well, not a member, but there's some forums that I like that are anti-45 forums. So I get that kind of stuff in my news feed all the time.
It's like
Yeah, I
it's
think
like
we
people
all
have
do.
like a world on their phone and they can't get off of it.
People
And like they stay in their bed on their phone.
Oh my God! Yeah.
I always do that because like
Do you?
like bad. Sorry,
I'm guilty.
You're guilty
Yeah.
too.
you're
I'm on
holding
my
yourself
phone.
accountable.
I'm on my phone, but it's for a good cause. I'm reading.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Okay. Well, you know what? I don't. I know you don't know this man, but years ago, one of the problems out of D.C., political problems at the time, suggested, and he was on the other side, so we just didn't follow him. But he suggested back in those years that every child your age there should be a computer in the home. That was the smartest thing he ever said, in my estimation, and he was right. Because what I found, if your child is having trouble reading, put them on the internet. They'll learn. You'll learn how to read because everything, unless it's a audio or visual, is written.
You can learn a lot of new words on the internet.
Oh, a whole lot.
Yeah, that's why I
A lot
like
of new
reading.
words.
It helps my vocabulary
Yep.
and how
Actually,
I talk to people and
yeah.
understand some words, like big words.
Yeah, like that. It's like an app, and like you find like different stories on it, and like I've been really liking that app because I would read it, and like my grades been going up because
Yeah.
of me reading, and it really helped, and I'm starting to love reading.
Awesome. I'm happy to hear that because you know what? Education is the most important job you have right now. And the other thing that I really wanted to discuss was future goals because you're in a time now where that's critical. Critical preparation. There's just no more room in the unskilled labor pool. There's no more room. So your whole generation has to come into your 20s getting ready for that lifetime commitment. So I wanted to get your opinion, how you felt about that, your goals, what your plans are.
My goal is to get good grades
Yeah.
and like maybe get scholarships to different colleges.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I don't want to be that one person who like doesn't know what they want to do and like not know how they're gonna do something
Uh-huh.
without the help if they could get it themselves. Like scholarships, like if they got bad grades and they want to do something that like requires you to have a high GPA or something like that, they're like, oh, I can't do that because they got bad grades.
Well, you know, good grades are great, scholarships are great, but in the real world,
Don't really matter.
we have to be able to do, period, whether the grades are good or the scholarships aren't there.
just learn how
You
to
still
survive.
have to be prepared to take care. You got to provide for yourself, whether that scholarship comes or does not come. You have to make that commitment, and this is really what I'm trying to zero in on. I don't know. I think it may be the light over there that's catching her eye. I don't know why she's doing that, but she's not talking. You are. How do you feel about that?
Like my goals are like what Leah said, like to get A's and B's, and I also want to become an actress and go to a good college. Oh, and also still do anti-bullying and domestic violence.
Mm-hmm. Very important. Both of those very important, and very positive. This is very positive thinking here, and I'm just kind of excited about what you're telling me, because this is things that not enough of our kids get to hear.
Mm-hmm.
They sure don't get to talk about it the way we're sitting here talking about it now. So when I express the excitement to hear that you're actually engaged and involved and helping your peer group with this bullying and the suicide, that's very encouraging. It really is.
I feel like if we talking about the subject, we pretty much talking about like talking for them, because they can't talk about stuff that they want to like confess or like how they feeling.
Well, some of it's so personal and private.
Yeah,
You know
but they might
that-
get like an understanding, like, oh, if she could talk about it, we could go talk about it
Right.
and express how we feel.
Right. Well, yeah, because
That's what being an advocate is. You going out there and being a voice for those who don't have a voice.
Yep.
Yeah. And you're not going to be judgmental.
Yeah,
That's the most important thing your peer group is looking for. They don't want anybody judging them, whatever it is, and they deserve the freedom to express whatever it is that's working against them, whatever it is. If they can't read, if they're being bullied, if they're hungry, if they don't have shoes, you know, all of that, whatever that. If
Yeah,
13
'cause-
is too hard.
Because they like start like to make fun of them, like, oh, you
We-
have like no shoes.
Oh, my
Oh, your
God.
mom probably has
I
like
feel
doesn't have
Oh,
no
sorry
money,
about
like
that.
you're
Mhm.
poor, like you don't eat, like you do not know like what they're going through. Like you may
Right.
not know, like at home they have no money, they're like struggling, and if they're like, yeah, they're like getting abused, and they're like seeing their mom. I'm sorry, I keep saying like it's like my
It's all
word.
right. It's all right. You're what? 11? It's all right. You're doing great.
And yeah, they're seeing their mom and dad fight, and it's like really not respectful. Like if they're going through something, you have to respect. Like, oh, like I'm sorry. Like, yeah,
Have a little empathy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
people are too quick to judge.
That's true.
Like, oh, she has like she wears the same thing every day. Like, we might not know what they're going through at home, so we all gotta like be quiet and shut up, keep it to ourselves.
But
Yeah.
that comes from a mentality of people feeling like they have to compete for everything.
Yeah.
You know,
They feel like
and
That
we at
pressure.
they
we
have
at
to judge
competition
them
with each other.
because they have something they don't.
Right, right. It's a lot of pressure right now. A lot of pressure, and the sad thing for me is it's getting wider between the haves and the have-nots. And That's why it's really important for folks like me to talk to you and see that you're using that beautiful mind you have and getting yourself prepared for your own future, because these are things your parents can't give you. They can't do this for you. You have to get, this is why you're in school, to get you ready for my age. Okay? And you don't want to be my age trying to figure out what you're going to do. So I'm very proud of you, young ladies, both of you. Very proud of both of you. Marcus, you had something you want to add?
Well, I'm always proud of y'all. You know that. And I try to push y'all to positivity because, you know, there were times when I didn't even have it. You know, so my job is to make sure that you get every resource that's, you know, in my grasp. You know, and that goes for anybody's kid. That's all I really want to say, man. I do everything I do for, you know, I went through that prison time for all y'all, you know, and I don't want to see it. So that's all I got to say.
And you know what? It has to be an end of us running towards that prison time. And these young men have to understand what these young ladies have been trying to tell them. It's about self-preparation and wanting that for you.
You gotta have the will.
Yeah. You gotta want it. You can't just sit and think, oh, I'm gonna get me a job. A job doing what? And is that job gonna pay your rent?
No.
Yeah, we gotta think more into the stuff that we want to do. Cause me, when I'm older, I want to be a judge.
Okay. I mean, law school.
Yeah.
A lot of law school.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing at all.
You got a legal mind, you should do that. Yeah.
Tell her why you want to be a judge.
For I forgot the word.
What word? What does it mean?
It's for.
Well, I just want to say that, you know, you have a valuable example in Judge Mathis, and that he was a Marcus in his young days, and Judge Mathis's mother would tell him that the police are looking for you, and I'm not gonna hide you. You know, if they come and you know, if they're coming to get you, I'll see you when you get back. Right. That's the way she raised him. And so, being typical Marcus, he didn't listen and did the same things. But after he came back out of his foolishness, like he said, he went to school. He spent 15 years trying to get his law license, but he has it, and now he's a famous judge, and he's a black man with experience, and he's saying the right things. So what we want you to do is stay on the right path and get to law school. You don't have to detour to prison first. You don't have to do that. You
gotta learn in the law library in jail.
I want to be a judge for injustice things, for like community stuff, or for cases that don't normally show up.
Yeah, but that's an excellent career, and law is always an excellent career, and you know, it's really important for us to know our own rights. That's very important. So we're almost out of time, so I want to give you, young ladies, the last word. You have something you want to say to your friends without the shout out?
That was quick.
It is quick.
I feel people who are well known should use their position to advocate for people. Like famous people. Like how I forgot his name. Terry Crews. He did it for sexual assault.
That was very
I feel like people should advocate more. He said he's using his spot for being famous to help those who can't come and speak about it.
That's very good.
I feel we need more Terry Cruzes.
Maybe getting the bully, like what we been I'm trying to get the word.
I've never heard this many likes come out of her mouth.
I know.
I'm really surprised.
Because I'm
like.
What is it you want to tell people something positive.
That like
Listen more. Help.
to never like
Don't
Give up.
take your time.
Yeah, don't
give up.
Mm-hmm.
Speak out.
Speak
Silence
out.
is not the answer. Violence
That's
is
right.
not the answer.
Violence is not the answer.
Or
neither
even
is
judging
silence.
somebody is not the answer.
That's right.
Mm.
And bullying is not the answer.
That's right. That's right. Very important messages from our future.
That's
Yeah.
true.
From our future. You are our future, and it's nice to meet two young ladies that got it working in the right way, and we just want you to continue, and tap your peers on the shoulder and tell them, look, you don't have to be a fool. Come on and look at what we're doing and see if you can find some over here that's better, and that's how we're going to fix all this.
I feel like when we fighting and judging people, like for judging people, like your problem and your opinion don't matter. So like don't do it. And like fighting, you fighting, but you still got the problem there.
And you know what? Their opinion does matter because that's the core of their problem. So if you don't know what their problem is, it's never going to come to a conclusion.
I
So-
feel certain opinions, maybe.
The best
Better.
weapon is communication.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best weapon. Communication. Talk it out. And it's okay to disagree. Just don't become disagreeable. That's the condition. We can disagree about all of it, like you don't like Trump and I don't like so-and-so, but okay, you don't like him, I don't like them, but we don't have to be disagreeable amongst ourselves. So that's critical. So, young ladies, I really thank you for coming. I really do. Marcus, I thank you for bringing them.
I
Thank
really
you for
do
having
appreciate you telling me that you wanted to see me.
Well,
We'll be back again.
that sounds very good. That sounds very good. Well, Marcus, thank you so much for sitting in tonight.
Always
too.
a pleasure for me. Every time I come here, I'm here. I'm here to learn something from you. So I'm
I'm
always
done
humble.
teaching,
No,
honey.
you're not.
Oh,
I
yes,
learn
I
from you
am.
every time I see you.
No,
so you
I'm
can
sitting
take that
here
out.
learning from the future. They're teaching me, and that's exactly what I
I learn
need.
from you every time I
Tell her.
Oh,
Tell her
bless
to
your
get
heart.
it. Tell her. Don't let her get away with that.
That's so sweet.
So, do we get to keep our head to the sky right now?
Yes, sir.
He said, "Keep
You hear that music?
your head
Okay.
to the sky."
All right. God bless your community family. Thank you for listening. Thank you for singing, Mark.
I love you, Skip.
Thank you, young ladies. God bless you, family, and we'll
Thank
be
you
back
for
next
having
week.
us.
Thank you for coming.